It's got to be bad when your own ultras even leave the ground way before the game's finished. I'm sitting watching. There's still just a couple of minutes to go in the Celtic game, and that's it. It's done and dusted. But the Hearts ultras have buggered off. So much for being backing your team to the last minute, to the last stand. Celtic have just won 4-1 in Edinburgh. Absolutely fantastic result as far as I am concerned. It didn't go as well as what you would expect, but what I will say is, just check this out. Just turn that back down. Yeah, when you think back to when Ange Postecoglou won a game up at Ross County, we weren't fluid that night. We weren't brilliant that night. We didn't get it all our own way. It was a hard-fought win. Tony Ralston scores in the 97th minute, and that was a turning point for us to go on and win the league. Winning this game, turning it around in the second half. First half, it's a half that you can forget about. Brendan Rodgers knew that he was going to use the full complement as much as the squad as he could tonight, thinking with the Champions League game coming up. And you've got to say that the second half, we turned the screw. We get 2 goals in 4 minutes, which puts it to bed really that at that point. And then the Hearts fans start disappearing away out the door. What it does to the league table, well, yeah. That's it, get the league table up, Baz, because that is all that matters. Celtic are top of the table, looking down on the Aberdeen. We finally have a gap. We've managed to get a gap between ourselves and Aberdeen, who are on 31 points. It was always going to be a good race, and Aberdeen have done well to keep up with us so far this season. But then you go down to third place, and Rangers are on 23rd points. Dundee United are on 20, and Motherwell are on 19. Both the teams will be thinking that they can overtake Rangers in the next couple of weeks. With the cry being no surrender from their defenders, the things that did enthusiasm vacuum. I'm just getting a message coming through here. This is desperate, utterly desperate, utterly scurred now. Don't even want to go to games. Clement has a second career as an enthusiasm vacuum. He sucked the joy out of going to Ibrox. Even Murray didn't manage that. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, man, that's somebody said the WhatsApp messages through. Apologies. But there's Adam Ida doing a little dance in front of the 750 Celtic fans. That massively reduced fan allocation. And I tell you one thing, it is karma, because what it does do is it means that Hearts are still way down the bottom of the table. And I, for one, hope that they get relegated. I really hope that Hearts get relegated and Hibs manage to just get their way out. Game of 2 halves, Rio Hatate, he wasn't up to much first half. There weren't many Celtic players who were. Hearts done quite well to force the game to Celtic. They kept Celtic pushed back and never letting us allow it to get into the stroll. But the scoreline was 4-1. Ultimately, there was a penalty. James Forrest getting taken down in the box. It was a penalty all day long. It was a no... You know, they're never going to say that it wasn't a penalty. It was a penalty. It's a good result. Rubbish performance, but it's always one of those games. You never get a good performance. And I did say there's games that are hard fought games. This was a hard fought. They had to fight for this. They had to make sure that they did everything. And yep. I'm just listening to what they're saying on telly. Celtic just too strong. Celtic doing what Celtic do, and that is win. We go on to Wednesday night now. It is Wednesday night that we play, isn't it? Matches coming up. Yeah, the Champions League Wednesday night. We play Club Bruges at Celtic Park, so we're getting back to Celtic Park on Wednesday night. When you look at it, the results that we've had, and a couple of away results, which have been hard games, and historically, Hearts away we never usually win 4-1. It's never usually. It looks good on paper. That win does look good on paper. It looks emphatic. It looks as if we ran the show, but the reality is that we didn't run the show for the first half. And you can see the changes that Brendan Rodgers made the second half. The game at Kilmarnock, we won that 2-0. And I think that was these are the two harder games. We've got the one just Callum McGregor scores in the first half, if I remember that one, just the end of the first half, and then Kuhn, he scores later on in that game, didn't he? And at Kilmarnock, and this win at Hearts. Historically, those two games are hard games. Less than 200 to go for the 20,000, says Big Chew. Yes, we do. We are on the road. We're at 19,807. So if you haven't subscribed, get us to that 20,000 before we play the Rangers in the cup final. And make sure it's a cup final to remember for many, many reasons. I'm just listening to what they're saying. What really... I mean, John Robertson... If anyone listened to John Robertson at half-time, John Robertson said that Hearts should have been in front. Hearts should have been winning that game. Well, that's definitely not. Definitely not. Anyway, how long does it take to get your shorts on? Yeah, we need to talk about that. Let's jump into the comment section. I don't think it will be as busy tonight because it is Saturday night, it's late Saturday night, and people are like, I'm not going on YouTube at this time of night. Anyway, there is another video that has just went live, and I think you might like this video. So once we've come off the live, let me just go and get this so that I'll get it ready for yous. And it's quite a little funny video, so I was enjoying myself just before the game started tonight. Click on videos, 2 seconds. Oh, that's had 90 views already. That's even better. No, I haven't considered that at all. Just share this, copy this, and when you come off the live stream, if you jump onto this video, and then I'll pin that in the comments so that you can get that. I'll pin that message, and you'll find that this is a little bit of hilarity for you. A little bit of hilarity. Anyway, that's the Celtic game done and dusted. Rangers drew 1-1. Ross County beat Motherwell 2-1. That's a disappointing result for Motherwell. I was wanting Motherwell to win to close the gap on Rangers. St Johnstone beat Kilmarnock 1-0. St Mirren beat Aberdeen, which created the gap at the top of the table. Aberdeen travelled to St Mirren and they didn't like it. Dundee beat Hibernian 4-1, which leaves Hibernian rooted to the bottom of the table, minus 10. Hibernian sitting on 8 points, Hearts sitting on 9. I want Hearts to go down all day long. I hope Hibernian get their act together and manage to just put Hearts into the bottom spot, because I want Hearts, I want them relegated. And Kilmarnock, Hearts and Kilmarnock, if they two got relegated, it'd be the perfect season, especially when Celtic go to win the 55. Anyway, let's jump back into the comment section and see what everyone is saying. 2 cracking saves at the end there, yeah it was. Dave Hislop says he called it at 4-1. Scott Manigo says, green everyone. Carly is over the moon. Adamida coming up with a goal again. Will that silence his critics? Not really, because I think that Adamida giving the ball away that led to their goal. I think that, Adamida did have 3 players around him. Should he have done better, Adamida? Should he have released the ball earlier to try and get it further forward? Or was it the fact that, look, Hearts got 3 players around them, they got right around them, and they managed to get the goal from it. And you've got to say that the Hearts goal, it was a cracker of a goal. It was an absolute cracker of a goal. Never seen the young lad playing before, but it was a cracker of a goal. Jim F says, fought 4-1, pumping. Yep. Well done, boys, says Maddie. James Gunn says, hail for Fife. James, where about you from in Fife? Tell us in the comments section. We're going to be unstoppable, says David. Are we going to be unstoppable? Is this the season that we put to bed the ghost of Christmas past? We put to bed the ghost of Christmas past and the Untouchables in the Invincible season. The Untouchables was a DVD that was brought out by Celtic to celebrate that season. Can Celtic do the same this season? Can we progress even further in the Champions League that team did do? And ultimately, will that team be crowned better than the 2016-2017 team? That's all to come over the course of the season. Today was just another one game in the step going forward within the league. It is one that matters. When you look at the table, it doesn't lie. We're there on 34 points, Aberdeen on 31, Rangers on 23. We've finally got a gap. It's something that Celtic always look at. And to be fair, a lot of people thought that Aberdeen might give us a run towards the end of Christmas. That'll do. Oh, that, mate. I'm live, Brian. He's probably sitting up in the pub watching this. But anyway, let's jump back into the comment section and see what you're all saying. Carly's in the house, Paul Baird's in the house. They'll be disappointed. Yep, they will. Hoopy the Hound says hail hail. Kieran Douglas is in the house. Hail everyone. Love it how natural order has been restored. Said 4 and top of the bag. Kuhn. Carly says she is delighted. That's better than the enthusiasm vacuum. It was still a good result, even though it was hard to watch, says Tim Downey. Tim, you are a man and a half. Something today says, Invincible boys, can we go to the end of the season? Can we really go to the end of the season and be unbeaten? Is there anybody that we fear in the league? No. And I think it's all going to come down to the mentality of the players. Can the players ultimately give Brendan Rodgers the kind of service that he's looking for? Sorry, I'm just trying to do 2 things at once here. The kind of performances. I mean, Rio Hatate, people were talking about, the manager was talking about Rio Hatate the other day, saying that he needs to level up his performance in every game. Rio Hatate, the first half, he had far too many passes that went missing. He got his act together in the second half, but you're just thinking, these are the games that ultimately do win you championships. It's as simple as that. You've got to win what's in front of you, and Hearts are always a hard team. Hearts only really turn up to play Celtic, and they've shown that today again. With the fact that we did get the win, and it was 4-1, Hearts versus Celtic 4-1. It's absolutely brilliant. Dave Morton's in the house. Tim Downey says that was a good result. Tim, you're just unbelievable as a person. Fantastic result, despite the poor first half. It's like I said, Big Chewy. When you look, see if you were to go back and watch back the game at Ross County when Ange Postecoglou, and the turning point in the season for him when Tony Ralston, and what a run by Tony Ralston towards the end of the game there. Tony Ralston scores the goal in the 97th minute. We never played that great that night. We thought that it looked as if it was going to be a draw, to be honest. And you're thinking, is this the night that we can do it? Is it or not? But ultimately, we won the game. And then we looked back at it. You never thought that on the night. You never looked at that game that night and said, this is the turning point of the season. This is what's going to take us on a run. But when you've got hindsight in place, and you can look back several different. So I'm just checking this email. When you look back over the years and you see the games that have been the turning points, I've always said there's a game in November, December that ultimately will have that effect on the season. And I think that tonight will be that game. Brendan Rodgers knows the fact that we weren't at our best. People have been travelling. People have came back for international breaks. They tried to sort of play on that. Cammy Devlin, he only plays 3 or 4 times a year. And Cammy Devlin only turns up and plays against Celtic all season. It's the only time that he manages to get in any kind of performance when he plays against us. Adam Ida coming on off the bench. I thought he'd done fantastically well, getting that ball into James Forrest. James Forrest, I mean, he takes it, he's calm as anything. And Adam Ida, there's nobody stopping that. He gets it right in close to the post. He knows that Craig Gordon, what a fantastic servant that he's been over the years, but let's face it, he is a jambo. When you look at the stats here, Celtic had 69% of the possession, they had 13 shots on target, 13 shots in total, 9 on target, which isn't a lot for Celtic during games. You've got to say 13 shots in total, so you've got to say Hearts done their job. And let's see if we can hear Adam Ida. Nico Kuhn's up first. Let me just try and get the mic over here.
But we talked about it at halftime, and then I think second half we did much better.
What did the manager say at halftime?
I think we have to show mentality. We have to press more. We have to let the ball run better. So that's what we did second half, and we used our chances.
When once you got that breakthrough, did you feel that momentum came back?
Yeah, I think it was really important to get the first goal, and then we made a good goal, good game.
When you score a goal like that, will give you the chance to talk us through it, and just how special was that for you?
Yeah, it was a good counter, I think. I saw the guys running. First I want to send him. He did brilliant and gave me the ball back, and the finish was not so bad.
Not so bad. That's an understatement. It's a great finish. And from your point of view, how key was it for you to come on and make that impact and win Celtic the game?
I don't think I won us the game back, but no, I'm really happy. I've said this week that I want to set myself some goals, and obviously the main one was to score more goals. And look, I'm happy with how I played tonight, and overall the team, we got 3 points.
Is that difficult at times when you start in the last game, there's an international break and you're on the bench? Is there a bit more pressure to come on and make sure you do make that impact?
I don't think so. Look, everyone knows here that we've got so many games. Whether you're a starter or coming off the bench, everyone's there to make an impact. So that's the mindset we've got, and everyone's doing their part.
It's a really busy period now. Do you feel that it's going to be important, the whole squad?
Yeah, 100%. I think, especially with us in the Champions League, everyone knows how important these games are, and everyone wants to do well and play their part. So I think for now we're doing well. We just got to keep going.
Just how good is the man next to how good a season is he having? Because he's quite modest.
No, he's been fantastic. Since pre-season, when I was watching at home, he's been unbelievable. So hopefully he keeps it going and scores loads more goals.
Adam was saying he's setting some targets. What about you? What's your targets now, given how good a start you've had?
Yeah, I just try to keep going. I feel really good with the team, with the staff, everyone. So yeah, I just try to keep on.
We've mentioned it before, but Julian Nagelsmann's already mentioned your name. He said he's monitoring you. Is that something that is another target for you?
Of course, it was always a dream. So the only thing I can do is scoring and assisting.
Nico Kuhn.
And then we will see.
It was a fantastic finish, but it's Rio Latati who is the William Hill Premiership Player of the Game. Who can I trust to pass it on to? Somebody's got to. Cheers, thank you. Well done.
Nico Kuhn and Adam Ida talking to Sky Sports. Adam Ida. It's mental. It's crazy to think that Adam Ida gets a lot of stick, and people forget that Adam Ida is only 23 years old. Engels is a waste of a shirt at the moment, says Big Dom. I think that it was a game. It was definitely a game that Alex Bailly couldn't have been put on for. It was far too physical. I think that some players coming into the league, the physicality of the game sometimes goes past them. And I think that Hearts tried to play that game today. Ian Aberdeen is in the house. Sigh. Oh, Ian Aberdeen, what happened to your team today? Oh man, we were hoping that you were going to keep on pushing. Keep on pushing and keep that team way, way behind. There is a little bit of a gap popped up at the top of the table, but let's hope that your team gets back on track. And it is just a sigh. I'm sure that you'll get back on track and keep Rangers way, way in front of you. Anyway, Adam Ida. It's crazy to think that Adam Ida is only 23-year-old. He came to Celtic with a price tag, an overinflated price tag. I think that a lot of people would have said. I think that we could have got him for a lot cheaper if the people that were in charge of the Celtic signing strategy back last Christmas had done their job correctly. The fact that they didn't. Now, Adam Ida can play on the left wing, he could play on the right wing, but he plays as a centre forward for Celtic. And it's a funny old one that he's only valued, and according to Transfer Market, he's only valued at €5 million, but we all know that Celtic paid around about €9 million for him. People will say that we paid too much for him. He's only 23-year-old. He's got a lot of football left in him, and he's still got a lot of learning to do. Anyway, Taylor was minced tonight, says Paul Baird. Yes, he was, Paul, and I've said this before. I said it in the last game, at the Kilmarnock game. I thought that Taylor was pulling out of tackles. There was times before when Taylor would go crunching into tackles. That's the mindset of a player that's saying, don't get injured. He knows that he can't get injured because ultimately I think that he is one that's going to be away. Big Dom says Stephen Kuhn had injury issues. Yeah, Kuna had injury issues when he first came to Celtic. Agree, Chilpil, but it's only going to get better. Hoopy the Hound says, Ian, I hope you kept the winning part for the games against us. Big shout out to Ian Aberdeen FC, who comes in periodically, and I think that is, I've always said it. Look, I says the fact that Aberdeen have managed to push us. I thought that Aberdeen would have won that game today, but they didn't. It's allowed Celtic to finally get a gap at the top of the table. Fair play to Aberdeen for pushing on so far into the season, getting right through to November and giving Celtic a good old run for their money. I think that Aberdeen may fall away a little bit now, but you never know, they might get back. This might be the little kick up the bum that Aberdeen needed, because, you know, getting that draw with Celtic, I'm just watching the Kuhn goal again. I mean, it was absolutely fun. I mean, the header from Dyson Maida, it actually comes off Kuhn's chest, and you're thinking, that wasn't meant. It wasn't the best ball for Kuhn to Dyson. He's expecting, Dyson hits it back out to Kuhn. He's expecting Kuhn to chip it over past everyone else that's coming towards him, but Kuhn's that confident. He's just like, I'm taking a shot. Sorry, Dyson. I'm powering this right past Craig Gordon. It's like, show me, old man, how quick you can save this, because I am on absolute fire with that league table back down, so everyone could see my napper. Not that you need to, because it's you're probably better off watching. Like, I don't know. James McFadden's now talking about how good Celtic are. I'm going to jump back into the comments section before we get Brendan Rodgers up. I think Paolo needs some game time now, says Anglin Ayrshire. Paolo Bernardo gets some game time, yeah, but I think that the manager won't. You have to think of the long-term plan, right? And this is why Paolo Bernardo's not getting as much game time, and this is why Matt O'Reilly didn't get as much game time when Aaron Moy was at the club. You have to think of the long-term plan. Celtic they would have had an idea if Aaron Moy was going to leave that coming summer. Obviously with his fitness and everything, and it would have been something that he would have spoke to the manager about. Now, they knew that they had Matt O'Reilly in the background. We've got players in the background. Paolo Bernardo, he's going to be here for 5 years. He's going to be here for a long time. You want to make sure that the players that have the potential to be sold in the next coming summer are the players that ultimately get the game time. They're the ones that get the game time, get the fitness, and show the world that what they can do. It's the way that modern football works. You know, it is. Brendan will say it's a team game, and the players will get swapped around, and rotation will come into play over the next couple of weeks. But when you look at it, ultimately, Brendan Rodgers and Celtic will want to make sure that Rio Hatate is at the top of his form, is consistent as he can be for this full season, because I think ultimately this will be potentially one of the last seasons that we'll have Rio Hatate, and if Celtic want to get good money for him, it'll be because he's had a good season. It's not because he's been playing half games. I mean, could you imagine trying to get 25 from Matt O'Reilly the season before, when he played bit part to Matt O'Reilly? It would never have happened. Absolutely never happened. Anyway, let's jump back into the comments. Stephen says, Big Don. Carly says, I'm in the building now. So Carly's in the building. Love to be McCown and his strip hanging ready to be called upon. Scotty Boy says, hey Baz, just watched the game. Ended up a good result, mate. Sadly, my wife lost her battle on Wednesday with cancer. Give it a word to my good friend Scotty Boy. My deepest condolences to you and your family. It's such a unbelievable, and thank you for taking time to come out and commenting on the channel when you must be going through an unbelievable time. And I mean that. I mean, thanks for coming on and commenting. I mean, you've probably got 101 million things going through your head right now, and the last thing you need to be doing is you need to be coming on and telling me to keep up the good work. If you need to speak to anyone, if you need to speak to me, give me a shout out. There's an email address down in this. If you want to talk to anyone, if you want to talk to me, just give me an email and I'll give you a phone number, and you can give me a blare about absolutely anything that you want, mate. I can't, I'll be honest, I couldn't imagine what you're going through, because I haven't been there. So keep your chin up, mate, and yeah, you'll get through this. You will. You'll get through this. Chilpill says, what about giving Bernardo a chance? And Tim says, come on the sheep. Paul Baird says Taylor was missed tonight. He was that, but I think we all know the reasons for that. He's thinking that there's no way that he wants to get injured. I'm going to jump through some of the comments. Keep your head up, Scotty boy, says Tim. Scotty boy, my heart goes out with you, mate. Can't keep Big either down or off the bench. He scores a brace, says Jerry Cassidy. Big Des says, Ian, we can all have a little bit off times in this community. Most of our decent Celtic supporters with an honest opinion, unless you're one of them. Yep. Bobsky says, Big Baz for the OCF. The OCF? Oh, jeez. Hanks shouted out, saying, Scotty White, condolences to you and your wife. You know how you're feeling. Keep your family. Yeah. Keep your chin up, mate. Keep your chin up. You're going to go through a roller coaster of emotions. You're going to go through a roller coaster of emotions over the next couple of weeks, and it's hard. I've lost people. I've lost family, so I know that side of it. But I haven't lost a wife, someone that close to me. So keep your chin up, mate. Ian Aberdeen. The mad Ian Aberdeen has become a One Celtic Fans View member. Oh, the guy's absolutely crazy. I'll tell you, I think he's just doing it just to cheer us all up. So big shout out to our latest member. A big shout out to our latest member of the One Celtic Fans View, which is Ian Aberdeen. Ida took the penalty well, says Chilpill. Yes, he did that. Carly, you might be killing yourself, but Ian Aberdeen has just become a member. He can't be an Aberdeen fan. Something's not right about this. He can't be an Aberdeen fan. Paul Baird says, God bless Scotty boy, thoughts of you at this sad time. I'm just waiting to see if they're going to bring on Brendan Rodgers. We'll try and get Brendan Rodgers into the chat. Kaiser said, head up Scotty boy, we're all here and thoughts and prayers with you and the family. Which a lot of people, Dave Hislop says, welcome to the family. One the sheep, says Kaiser. The zombies are going to implode. They are going to implode, and if you want to see a little bit of a laugh video, make sure that you jump on to this one right at the end of this live. Doesn't look like Brendan Rodgers is going to get interviewed by Sky on the telly. I'm 100% Aberdeen. You're mad. Oh my goodness. Mind you, Aberdeen own Rangers. Yep. I'm just looking at some of the tackles. And you know, one of the funniest moments of the game is when Cammy Devlin gets kicked in the back, and I think it was it Rio or Kyogo. That's a penalty all day long, that one. I mean, Jamesy gets the ball, the boy bounces, he hits it on his knee, and the Hearts player just takes him right out, and he just looks at him, and it's like he knew straight away. Adamida right into the post. There's no way the keeper's saving that. No way the keeper's saving that. The power on it was brilliant. I think Big Adamida needed that. Chilpill said his prediction was 4-0, but fair play to the guy who scored for them. It was a cracking shot. Chilpill, if that was one of our players that had that shot, you would be like, that was a shot and a half. Anyway, Brendan on now, it's saying, so I'll get ready to turn this up, because I'm probably more than likely just a couple of minutes behind with this app, as always. And let me just see, there's Martin O'Neill talking at the moment. 16-1, that's the Sevco B team. Yeah, I must be about a minute behind you all. How sharp was wee Jamesy? Says Baz cards. Yep. Wee James is some player. The fact that he's a one-man club and he's got that new contract for the next 2 years. Right, come on, hurry up. There we go. Listen to Brendan Rodgers.
Brendan, well done. How do you assess that win tonight?
Well, it's a very, very good win. I think when you come here to Tynecastle and can win 4-1, excellent performance, especially second half. I thought first half they pressed it well.
Interesting.
We didn't quite play through as well as we wanted to, but once we figured that out and sorted it out at half time, I thought second half we got through that pressure really well. And,
Interesting.
Yeah, and looked very, very good. Then going forward, solid from behind. We're disappointed obviously with the goal that we conceded, but now to come here in such a difficult place to with a scoreline that convincing, then really pleased.
Ultimately.
It's a little bit important just to address that at half time with Hearts press and then kick on second half.
Yeah, because they've been pressing in 4-4-2, and of course that's what we expected. But in game, give credit to them how they did that. But our players, when we went through it at half time, and they adjusted really, really well, and we can then play through in better numbers and then eliminate that press much better. So scored very good goals and kept going right to the very end, which is the mark of a good team.
Rio Hatate was awarded the Player of the Match award, but Nicholas Kuhn's impact, can you just...
I think Nicholas Kuhn was man of the match.
Yeah, I think firstly it's a massive credit to those players. They've made long journeys. You think they're coming out of different time zones. Japanese players, Ali Johnson, Lex Austin, Trusty. These guys are, Ali only joined us on Friday, haven't played 2 games, so they're given so much to the team and effort and commitment, and so just managing their minutes. But obviously Nicholas, like you say, his numbers absolutely incredible. But he's working very, very hard, and I thought his finish was absolutely superb. It was he's shown that he can make strikes, he can bend it in and score back post. So yeah, it was really pleasing.
It's a really busy period at the minute. How key will your squad be, and is that be proved when you bring Adam Ida off the bench to get a double?
Well, it's going to be very important for us. I think the depth we have, I'm really pleased with. It allows us to come in and allows them players to influence the game, which is what we want, to keep the energy in the game and keep the organisation. So before we scored, I was thinking of 1 or 2 other players to bring on, but eventually we got the second goal, then that settled us, and then we could play. And we're going to need all the players in such a busy period, but this is the first one, and now we can switch our attention to Wednesday.
Just on Ida, I know when he scored his first goal, there was a lot of things thrown at him. Was that always a concern, safety, when you see things like that happen?
Always. I didn't see that, but yeah, it's never good.
Wonder for the medial copper.
Now in the Scottish Premiership, and it is a busy period. How pleased are you now this weekend that your rivals drop points, but you come here and despite what happened first half, you get that emphatic win?
Yeah, I thought we had good spells in the first half, but the second half we were just much better and much cleaner with our ball possession. And like you say, if your nearest rivals drop points, then of course you want to take advantage of that. Still very early in the season, but still this early, it's good to have it. It's good to get the win. Everyone would have looked at this as a really tough game, but we've come here and managed the game really well. We got the 3 points, so yeah, I'm really, really pleased, and we just got to keep a focus and keep that intensity.
Well done tonight.
Cheers, thank you.
Well done tonight. Keep that intensity. Adam Ida coming off the bench and getting 2. Kyogo getting 1. Nico Kuhn getting an absolute screamer. The Nico Kuhn goal for me was the goal of the game. When you look at the stats for the game, having only 13 shots in total, that's quite a low amount for games that we've had. The possession was only 68%. The pass accuracy was at 98%, which is around about usually what it was. Celtic did 770 passes altogether. They had 8 fouls, 1 yellow card, and no red cards. They were offside once, and they had 6 corners, which was a good amount of corners, but Hearts did well. Hearts did do well for the first 45 minutes. And it was interesting that Brendan Rodgers says that it was a change of tactics. It was a change of tactics from Hearts that allowed them to get a foothold in the game the first half anyway. That's us done and dusted for the night. We have been on for 34 minutes. That's more than enough on a Saturday night. A big shout out to the one and only Ian Aberdeen, who become a One Celtic fans view, and an even bigger shout out to Tim Downey, and an absolutely fantastic fantastic guy on this channel, and just there's no words, absolutely no words, Tim. Thank you. Big shout out to, let me just get back onto the live chat. Big shout out to Carly, big shout out to Celtic Mad, big shout out to Dave Hislop, Kaiser, Tim down at Kaiser. You're mental. Fast hair challenge is not a holiday. Exactly. Sleep tight champions. We're top of the league, looking down on the Aberdeen. We're top of the league, looking down even more on the Rangers. The fact is that the champions have made hard work of it tonight, but they did what they do ultimately, and that is win games of football. Brendan Rodgers said that when he came back, he was coming back to be a champion, and he said when he stood on the doorstep at Celtic Park that he was going to be here for the 3 seasons, and he would not do walking away. The Hearts fans did walking away with about 10 minutes to go, and it was about 15 or 20, wasn't it? It was about 20 minutes to go, really. They started doing walking away. The Rangers fans booed at half-time and at full-time. Now, when you want to go and have a little bit of a laugh, make sure that you leave this chat, you go and jump onto this video, and you'll see Uncle Fester at his best. Yes, you'll see the rage on Uncle Fester. Have a fantastic evening to all the Celtic fans all around the world, and any other fans of other channels and other football clubs that are watching. Good night, God bless.